It's Thanksgiving week, and we have a feast of games to talk about. Saquon Barkley goes on a run for MVP, pun intended. And we find out that 3-year-old Dale could kick my ass.
Welcome to the JSD Fantasy Football Podcast with your boy, Scott Papa Fox Jackson, my guy, Mr. Prestige John Evans, and the one and only bearded warrior, Big Dale Gibson. And we are JSD. Welcome to the pod, y'all.
All right, I'm John.
I'm Scott.
I'm Dale.
And we are JSD Fantasy. How you boys doing?
Good. Another week, man. Another week.
Feeling good, feeling bad. Mixed bag of emotions right now. So, won the fantasy week. My team did win. So, I'm happy, but I'm sad. So, that's how I'm doing.
All right, all sad over here. Anyway. All right. Well, we can lead off with some news. You guys happen to know who Daniel Jones plays for now?
Doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
Well, it's not the Giants, so there's that. He asked for his release. The Giants graciously parted ways with him, and now he is looking for a new home. He'll clear waivers tomorrow, or was it today? He'll be available tomorrow.
Yep.
To make a deal. So that's where we are with that. Injuries. Dale, what do you got for injuries?
Yeah, I got a small list of injuries. Again, we got Gardner Minshew out for the season with a broken collarbone. Aiden O'Connell is still injured over there, so that leaves him with Desmond Ridder and whoever their practice squad QB is. So not looking good for the quarterback room over in Vegas. We got Purdy. He had the shoulder injury this last week. Still don't know what his outlook is going forward right now. So got to keep an eye on that if you are a owner of Purdy on your team. Then we got Josh Downs, who got injured with a shoulder. He's week to week. No real timetable for him. We got Austin Eckler, who most likely is going to be out with that really bad concussion. He was knocked out for, I would say, at least a minute. Didn't look good. So he's most likely out next game. So obviously for an Eckler owner, plan for that. And then tonight, J.K. Dobbins with a knee injury.
Also, Brian Robinson Jr., his ankle. He tweaked his ankle. Because remember, he tweaked his ankle, left, came back, and had to leave again. So
Yep, you're right. I missed that one. So the entire Washington backfield. So
yes.
Hopefully you guys have backups.
Also, one more that we probably don't realize because it seems like it's been a year since Thursday night. Cedric Tillman got rocked.
He sure did.
He's in concussion protocol, so he gets a long week to try to come back, but definitely something to monitor. You got a couple of other options there at wide receiver. So, speaking of injuries, we can jump right into waivers. Seeing as you have these injuries, starting with tonight, J.K. Dobbins. If you don't have Gus the Bus, he's a good next option for the Chargers. Let's see who else. Whoever's next man up in Washington.
Jeremy Nichols.
Just for who?
Jeremy Nichols.
There you go. So Jeremy Nichols probably be a hot ad this week. Alec Pierce, if he's available. Pretty sure Michael Pittman Jr. is either rostered or just completely not believed in anymore. Depends on where you are, but I think he had a decent week this last week, actually.
He did, actually. He had, 6 catches for 96 yards? Something along those lines.
Yeah, he's one of those roller coaster relationships that I get sick to my stomach, trying to stay with him, and it's not a fun ride. At the end, at least I can say I survived it, but I think I have him in one league, and that's plenty for me.
I had it. Oh, I was going to say I had him last year, and I have him 0. I have him on 0 teams this year. Like you said, I can't do that roller coaster ride.
I actually really believed in him this year. I have him in quite a few leagues, and very rarely has he been in my starting lineup.
Yeah, well, with Anthony Richardson as at the quarterback spot, you're already gambling. So if you're going to do that, might as well see if you can hit it big with Alec Pierce. Yep, that's about what I got there. Oh, Amir Abdullah for the Raiders is a good one to get or hold on to if you did get him once the news broke of Alexander Madison last week. Who knows if he'll be back or at full capacity. So that's another one to monitor. He blew the fuck up. So that's another good one.
I've got one that I mentioned. I believe it was last week or a couple weeks. Not very rostered. Kevontae Turpin on the Cowboys.
With that 99-yard return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're in a league that does return yards,
which you should.
I like that. A little extra boost in points. So and it's fun, But Kevontae Turpin. So if he's available in your league, definitely go out and get him. I think I would put him at the top of my waiver list. He's going to roll as a wide receiver, but he's just dangerous as a returner. So he's very boom or bust, but right now he's been doing pretty solid with his current role. But the return yards is just something you can't pass up.
On the note of another return yard receiver, Calvin Austin III.
Yes, sir.
It's another good one. I would say on the receiver side, Trey Tucker, Demario Douglas. You still have Elijah Moore. Grab him. Jerry Jeudy probably isn't available, but especially with Tillman possibly being out, I'd go with Elijah Moore. Caleb Williams, he might be available in your league. I know he was dropped in quite a few leagues during his little bad streak. Caleb Williams, if you can grab him, not really too much besides that on the quarterback market. At this point, you got Cooper Rush, Tommy DeVito, maybe Jameis Winston. And then, like we were saying, running backs, Jeremy Nichols, Amir Abdullah. Another one, probably not rostered anymore, but Jalen Warren might still be on some of you guys' waiver wires. Definitely want to pick up Jalen Warren. Seems like he's definitely trying to get his touches back. Might even eat into Najee Harris's touches pretty soon.
And quick thing, I know Isaiah Pacheco is supposed to be coming back in the next week or so, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody drops Kareem Hunt and you have a roster spot, I would pick him up just for a handcuff. Just in case Pacheco doesn't come back 100% and he's not playing well, they start to give Hunt more touches once, Pacheco comes back. I think he's a good little safety blanket just in case they keep Pacheco out to rehab a little bit more, get more rested. Obviously when he comes back, he's going to be the number one. But just in case, if you have that spot, if somebody drops him just simply because Pacheco's back, I'd pick him up.
So speaking of the Chiefs, I'm a little hesitant on picking up anybody else outside of that. But what are your guys' thoughts on Noah Gray? Because the guy's been stealing Kelsey's workload the last couple of weeks, or at least targets points.
I'd say very matchup dependent. Wouldn't be bad to stash him, right? Just in case, like a just in case tight end, breaking case of emergency. But I think he's going to be very matchup dependent. Matchups where they're going to focus on Kelsey, then you might want to start Noah Gray. But if it's a team that's probably going to mainly focus on the wide receivers, I wouldn't start Gray.
Yeah, this week would definitely be, I think, that kind of a matchup against the Raiders. Mm-hmm. So that's also why I asked. What was your response, Dale? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was definitely going to say definitely against this matchup with the Raiders. I think he has a good opportunity to snag some of those targets and those touchdowns from Kelsey, but just I don't know how he's going to be going forward. He's had a nice couple games back to back, but if you're needed at tight end, then yeah, but I think he would be a dart throw at this point, going forward rest of the season.
Probably like an upside play, right?
Yeah.
If you need something consistent, I wouldn't go with him. If you're just like, hey, I need somebody that could possibly bring me some big points this week, I go Noah Gray.
All right. Speaking of tight ends, just because he's only 70% rostered in Yahoo, Jonnu Smith for the Dolphins. He has been consistent. He has been the safety blanket of Tua. That's come at the cost for Tyreek owners. Waddle did pretty well this last week, but Jonnu Smith, he was worth 29.7 points this week in full PPR on Yahoo. So he's a beast. He's proven his worth, and he is. I really think that he's Tua's safety blanket, and that's just what it is. Tua depends on Achane a lot. His numbers were not affected whatsoever. I mean, he spread the ball around, and I didn't get to watch that game, but the numbers are kind of showing me that Tua's getting back to it. But he just doesn't trust himself enough yet to throw it deep downfield. That's why the Tyreek numbers are still not what they should be for Tyreek. And then the Waddle, I'm sure a lot of those were across the middle, maybe some short slants, something like that. But again, didn't watch the game. I could be completely wrong, but
you see, for me as a Waddle owner on multiple teams, I think he hasn't been a must start. I've been benching him for weeks, but after this last game, I think he's a must start, at least in your flex going forward. I think they've got that chemistry back. Tua's feeling better. He's obviously not throwing too deep, like you mentioned, but he's being efficient. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions last game. Whatever's going on with Tyreek, if it's his wrist that's still bugging him, or he just doesn't have that connection with Tua right now, I think Waddle and Jonnu are going to be must starts going forward.
Honestly, I think it's just play calling. Tariq's been playing all season with the wrist. I don't think it's really bothering too much. He also is getting a lot of attention though, so they're taking the deep plays out of the play calling. Tyreek's getting more attention. Waddle's been so that's how you're getting Devon Achane trending up. Devon Achane is going to be Devon Achane, but then Jonnu Smith, that's where he's really eating, because like Johnny said, he's a safety net. He's the guy that's not getting as much attention. He's just open. He's getting that middle play. He's just eating off of him, man. Waddle did have a good game, but I think Waddle might be a little more up and down than we think he's going to be, right? Same thing. If you need upside, you need somebody that could possibly get you 20, 30 points, throw Waddle in your flex for sure.
yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Jonnu, but just for the reason of the up and down. But Jonnu's been consistent, but I think you nailed it. It is exactly that. I think they're double covering Tyreek. They're taking that long throw out of the game, and I think they're proactively taking it out of the game on the Dolphins side anyway. So it's just going to be one of those things where we may not see like Tua of old this season, or at least not for a few more weeks, if he can get back to getting comfortable in his own skin. So that's where I think right there. So any other waiver pickups, guys, that you can think of?
Ja'Tavion Sanders. That's still another good one. Tight end, if you want some
Tight end for Carolina?
Yeah, he's been trending up, man, and he's nice. Even if he doesn't like quote unquote break out this year, I think next year will be the year. So if you're in Dynasty, definitely grab him in Dynasty. But even if you just need a consistent tight end start, Ja'Tavion Sanders, I think he's a good one.
All right. Dale, you got any more, or we good
Nope.
for the next?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. So Where did the bad fantasy football hurt you guys?
Scott.
Man, right here in my head gives me a headache trying to decide between what to do with Malik Neighbors and the Giants situation.
Understandable.
I want to stand. Well, I mean, it's not really a choice. It's where the headache comes in, right? You have to start him. He's still a low end to mid end wide receiver 2. He's still gonna get those targets, but it's insanely frustrating because, like I've been telling you guys, the last 2-3 weeks, he does not get targeted in the first half for whatever reason, and all of a sudden, every second half, they're like, "Oh shit, we have Malik Neighbors, top 10 pick. Let's throw him the ball, right?" And then he'll get 9, 10, 13 targets in the second half. But of course, by that time, it's garbage time, right? So he did complain. I don't know if you guys saw that post game interview. He was like, "Dude, I don't know what you want me to do." And Dayball came out today. It was like this morning, and he said, "It's on me. I have to scheme him the ball more." So squeaky wheel narrative. Maybe we see some change, but Malik Neighbors gave me a headache today or this week.
Well, Neighbors wasn't even targeted in the entire first half.
Not at all.
And then he got all his work when it was already too late. Way too late. So you can't have a superstar receiver like that and not give him the ball. It just doesn't work.
Do you guys think it's just play calling or maybe little Tommy DeVito needs to get with it?
No, it's definitely play calling, man, because this happened with Jones. Like, you feel like Jones was targeted maybe 2-3 times in the first half, and then all of a sudden in the second half, 9, 10 targets. Like,
yeah,
the only difference with Jones targeting him is he would throw it his direction. It would just never be anywhere that he could catch it.
Yeah, I just don't think they're scheming that into the playbook, and it makes no sense whatsoever. But I was taking a shot at the whole. You guys see the Baker Mayfield taunting DeVito?
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Oh,
I did not see
Yeah,
that.
he ran it in for a touchdown and immediately did DeVito's celebration, but with 2 hands and with extra enthusiasm.
That's crazy.
Super enthusiasm.
What's the beef, Baker?
He went to the Giants home turf and tore it up and decided he was just so amped up from running it in, jumped over a defender into the end zone.
I did see that.
And then got up immediately and just started going like, ah.
That's just old school Oklahoma Baker coming out to play. That's what that is.
And I am so about some Baker Mayfield this year. He has been on fire. Yeah. Now Mike Evans came back this week, and he put up a modest performance. He didn't do bad. They probably eased him in like he needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So more to come. Otten kind of suffered from it. I think he had like 5.5 points.
Mm-hmm. It was not pretty for Otten.
Yeah. So, but I think they're going to find that balance. Otten can't always be the guy. They got their big weapon in the end zone back with Evans. They'll find it, but they got two running backs that are just tearing it up.
Boy, Bucky Irvin, man. Bucky goddamn Irvin.
Yep, trust me. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll take that as where the bad fantasy football hurt me this week. It was a lot of things, but Bucky Irving was a big one because my opponent had him. And geez, talk about over 30 points of pain.
Yeah.
So anyway, I lost everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure I lost in every single league that I'm in, -1. It just was not pretty. And yeah, it is what it is. Roll with the punches. But yeah, I'm kind of like ready to move on to next week. So what about you, Dale?
Yeah, mine, I'm just going to stay, I guess, cliche, you could say. The bipocalypse hurt me.
The what?
That's the bipocalypse.
Oh, man.
Yes. I had to put together so many ragtag teams of just, why am I starting him? I don't want to start him, but I have to. Rosters, and it sucked. Luckily, in our big money league, it wasn't too bad, and I was able to get that win. But in a bunch of my other leagues, I think I only won one. I think I won 2 out of 8 leagues this week, and mostly due to the buys.
Hey, you put together a pretty decent team though in the Superflex League. I can't
That's
lie.
the one that really hurt me.
Yeah,
Like it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be,
a lot closer.
because I was only projected, I believe, like 190, and ended up getting 245. So,
Yep.
so the guys I put in, they stepped up, but I didn't have Bijan, I didn't have James Cook, I didn't have Josh Allen, I didn't have Kamara. So, yeah, that was definitely a rough one for me.
Yep. I sympathize completely because I just lost everywhere. So, yeah. And a lot of it's not even because of the buys. That's the sad part. That's the part that really hurts. Some of them, yes, but not really. But it is what it is. So,
we move on to next week, though. I gotta touch on this. Saquon fucking Barkley.
yeah, that's the dude.
Career day, man. Career year.
Yeah.
They say that he's already passed his total rushing yards. His rushing yard total. Blew it out the water already. We have, 6 games left?
5. No.
Yep.
5. Yeah.
5?
5 games left. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 5.
Well, fantasy. I'm talking about just the
No, that's
regular
regular.
season. Regular?
Yeah. 17 weeks in the season. Right?
Yeah, we got 17 games.
17 games?
Oh, sorry. 18 weeks in the
18
season,
weeks.
17 games because of the bye.
Yeah, but
Correct.
they had their bye, so they got 6 games left.
Yeah.
So gives them plenty of room to try to get to 2,000.
We still got Apocalypse Part 2 coming.
Yeah, but the Eagles are good.
Yeah.
So Eagles got 6 games left. Gives them plenty of chances to get to that 2,000 rushing yards. So I think his line is set on the record.
I think all of us have regret on not taking Saquon.
100%.
I didn't take him anywhere, and it's not that I didn't. It's not that I didn't want to. It's just the situation that he was in the beginning of the year. We thought the rushing touchdowns were going to be sniped, especially close yardage, because of the tush push. And,
which it has at times.
It has, but
not like we thought it would be.
Not at all. And everything else, he's been phenomenal. I mean, him and Derrick Henry are the 2 best running backs this year. And I might even say Saquon is having a better season.
I'd say Saquon Saquon gets the leg up strictly because of the passing game.
Yeah, just how he fits into their offense is what he's needed for years. Like he literally has, like you said, the best rushing season of his career, and we're not even done yet. He can break 2,000 yards this season.
I think he's going to do it,
and I think he will.
You guys do realize
going to push for him to do it.
You guys do realize he is 2/3 exactly through his season. You still have a whole third of his season left.
Yep.
Do what he just did, like it's going to be insane. He'll break 2,000 yards. He's going to have a friggin' statue put up in Philly
real quick.
I mean, it's just nuts.
The closer.
I was at work today.
Closer.
I was at work today talking to a guy that actually went down to that game last night in LA. He got back at like 3:30 this morning and came to work. He said it was unreal. He's a Philly, he's an Eagles fan. So like he was loving it. So it's definitely I'm happy for Saquon for being in a good spot. He spent a lot of years doing a lot of dysfunctional things with the Giants, and it's really good to see him get what he's should have been getting all along. And hopefully that organization figures it out so that way they can actually be a contending team later on. Get a good quarterback, get no line, and because Barkley spent so much time blocking for Daniel Jones. Like, he's the running back. He had to block for Daniel Jones because linemen and defensive backs would leak through the O-line and to get back there to Daniel. And he's just had to block and help his buddy out. They got drafted together, right? Same year?
Sure.
Or was one and then the other?
One and then the other.
Yeah, so 2017 and 2018. I think they got Saquon first, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they were there through it. But that's what he had to be. Like, Saquon and Daniel Jones both have PTSD, just different types.
Man, now they
I think Danny Dimes had the bad end of it. So
can we not call him Danny Dimes anymore? He's Danny Unemployed.
Well, where do you guys think he's going to land? Then maybe we'll come up with a new nickname.
Not on a contender like he wants.
I think he might. I think he just might.
Who wants him though? Like, he doesn't bring anything to your team.
You know what I've heard though is that he's a really, really smart football player, and that you got to think about, right? He has the IQ. He just doesn't have the mechanics to put it together with the Giants. I think if he goes to a contender as a backup, he can help them with preparation, help with the locker room. I heard that he's a really good guy. So I think a lot of teams want that. They just don't want him as the starting quarterback making $40 million a year.
I really think that everything he's doing or has been doing for the Giants has been reactionary. He's tired of getting hit. Like, seriously, like a defender could like raise his arms up in the air and he probably like he's on guard. But
my body hurts.
Yeah, you get him in a situation where he can actually play football and have a line protect him so he has time to do things. Because you're seeing with DeVito now the same kind of play, right? It's just constant pressure. And when he did have time to throw the ball, he didn't know what to do. It was just like, I'm not getting hit. So it's like he makes these crazy, stupid plays, and it makes no sense. But that's what you kind of panic, right? So anyway, I think he would be of value to a team, but I think it's going to take some time. I don't think it would be smart to play him again this year on a new team, but go ahead and get him in there. Maybe Danny Dolphin, maybe a backup to do it.
Be wild.
Maybe you do that and then see how things progress with Tua. I don't know. I mean, like, there are options out there, but it's been talked about the Raiders getting him with Minshew going down. But also, is that the best move for the Raiders? They should draft their next QB.
Yeah, I think they're going to let it tank.
Rebuild. They're talking about rebuilding. They should do an actual rebuild. If they're going to just piece shit together, then they're going to be the same old Raiders again, and that's not what needs to happen.
Yeah, but if the Raiders are going to do anything Raider-like, it'll be to pick up Daniel Jones and keep him as their quarterback next year and not draft somebody, because they always do some stupid shit like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They don't draft the position that's needed. They draft the position that looks the best. Ergo, Brock Bowers, great player, phenomenal player, was not your biggest need.
Well, technically, they didn't want Brock Bowers. They wanted Michael Penix. They thought Michael Penix was going to follow them, and Atlanta fucked that all up.
They could have easily traded up for that one spot. I mean, if that's your guy, you trade up that one spot and you go get him. Like, I don't understand what they're doing there in Vegas. They're not aggressive when it comes to making moves in free agency or the draft, and they're in a full rebuild now. I mean, I don't know what you do, but Daniel Jones is not it.
Yep. I think they really should just stay away. Do their rebuild like a rebuild should be. But I don't know. I wish Jones the best of luck. Now it would be hilarious if the Cowboys got him, because the Cowboys and the Giants play each other on Thursday for Thanksgiving.
Wild.
Wouldn't that be crazy to get Daniel Jones on the field against his former team less like a week from him being released from the team?
He would have to learn such a condensed version of that playbook. He'd have a day and a half to learn it.
Man. Well, I think it'd be crazy if he played before Trey Lance got a chance to start.
That part.
Yeah. But, crazier shits happen in Jerry world.
Man. Well, keep it real. Cooper Rush is going to be the starting quarterback until probably the rest of the season. Keep it real. Especially after you got that win against Washington, they're not benching him. They keep him Rush. Which, hey, I ain't mad at. Definitely benefits CeeDee Lamb, so I'll take it.
So, going back to Saquon real quick, I do have a quick question for you guys, and we can just keep it short and simple. Don't need to get too in depth. Who is your fantasy MVP to this point in the season? I have it between two players, at least for me. Saquon, Jamar Chase.
Are you talking about players that you
fantasy
drafted and have?
Just your fantasy MVP right now.
Okay, Saquon. That you have.
That either that you have or that you just consider who in fantasy football would be your fantasy MVP.
Who would you take number one overall right now if you had to redo the draft?
Well, we already know everybody picking Saquon. So
some people pick Chase.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, you asked like that question, then there's your two answers right there, right?
Saquon.
Yeah, I'd go Saquon too. I'd go him over
just for consistency.
Not even that, just because we were dead wrong. Like, to have any kind of reservations on the fact that man was going to like lose touches or not provide efficiency whenever he got the ball, we're idiots. Like, hindsight's 2020, and I can see my dumb ass in perfect vision in hindsight. So that's just how I feel about it. I think we all do. It's gross.
I wish how strongly I felt about Derrick Henry. I felt about Saquon, because I was adamant. I was like, Derrick Henry is gonna fucking kill it this year, and he has. But I don't know why. With Saquon, something about Saquon gets maybe a little hesitant.
You see, and that was me with Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, I went out and I got Gibbs on every team that I could. Didn't think twice about Saquon at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel gross. That's all. All right. Well, we went off on like several tangents there. That was fun though. Let's see. Do you guys have any start or sits for this coming week? We don't have any buys. We have 3 games on Thanksgiving. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get them right for you. Let's go. Of course it takes.
If you don't have it, I got it.
No, I got it. It's right here. So I believe for the first game, it's Bears at Lions on CBS at 9:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. The next game will be the Giants at Cowboys at 1:30 on Fox. And the last game for Thanksgiving will be that night at 5:20, Dolphins at Packers. That'll be on NBC. So any of those channels want to go ahead and sponsor the show, that'd be great. Let's get some advertising money in here. So we've got those 3 games for Thanksgiving. On Friday, we've got the Black Friday game on Amazon Prime. That'll be the Raiders at Chiefs. Big rivalry there. I don't think we're gonna. It's not going to be a very exciting game, more than likely, unless every once in a while the Raiders
Surprising.
a wild hair and they just turn up. I just don't know if they're going to be able to actually do it this time with Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, not with their 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah,
It could possibly be interesting, but more than likely, Keisha is probably going to be padding stats.
yeah. So Amir Abdullah and any other like 2nd, 3rd string running back is probably going to get a lot of work. Or they're going to start lining up their receivers in the backfield just to take snaps directly. Who knows? It could be wild.
Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers are going to get a ton of targets. Whether they're good targets or not, they are going to be targeted heavily, especially Bowers. He's going to play that safety blanket for Ridder.
I think Mark Davis is going to go out there and throw some.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't expect a good game from Ridder, but a lot of dump offs to Abdullah and to Bowers.
I'm looking at Scott, and he's just like, "What are you talking about, John?" I'm like, "I'm talking about the owner, Mark."
I know you are.
You're looking at me like I'm stupid. I understand it because I am.
It's just rough out there. It's just fucking rough.
Oh, you guys, I got a live news update from a listener of ours. Straight up, just texted me saying that Aiden O'Connell might be back for Friday's game. They're hoping.
Huh.
And that's from Raiders Nation's #1 fan, Ruben.
If his name's not Juanito, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Bad.
Well, maybe #2.
Well,
Either way, he's the one that's paying attention to what's going on with the games and that, and sending some messages. So shout out to Ruben. Appreciate you,
sir.
Yep. So we're gonna get him on the show. That guy's got some good insights on some fantasy stuff.
Yes, sir.
Football in general. I mean, it's a shame he's a Raiders fan, but you know. Anyway, the rest of the you got your normal schedule for Sunday. Bunch of games during the day. 49ers at the Bills on Sunday night. It's going to be gross. I mean, unless we're back at full force and Brock's back, I'm just not looking forward to this game. Honestly, I may come home from work and just shower, cry in the shower a little bit, and then get out and get ready to watch the newest episode of Yellowstone. Just skip this one. I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet, but I don't feel good about it, fellas.
It's going to be depending.
I love my team, and
I do too.
It's been such a roller coaster the last few years, especially last year, knowing we had the best team possible to win the Super Bowl, to just come up short, and then this season to turn out how it has. It sucks. It really sucks. And knowing that your Super Bowl window is closing rather rapidly, they're not going to be able to keep this team together next year. There's going to be a bunch of big names that'll be gone, big role players that'll be gone, and I don't know where we end up. And if we're healthy, I think we could, at least contend in the, getting into the playoffs. But how we are right now, injuries and it's just not it this year.
We're not efficient. We haven't been since last year. That's just what it is.
If we were going to do it
going forward into a playoffs scenario, but if we do, obviously cheering all the way. It's just, going to take our lumps along the way. I just hope, they're few and far between. I don't know. I'm trying to be inspirational. It's not working.
Hey, if we were gonna do it, it would have been this year, man. This was the year if we're gonna go back and really make another run and have another chance. It was gonna be this year.
Yeah, well, we really should have done it last year and the 2020 season.
Yeah.
Got robbed in that one anyway. So
shout out to the refs for last year. I mean, good game, Chiefs.
yeah.
I mean,
oh no. He froze.
Is it time?
Ah,
It's that time of the week.
I love that look though. I wish it would go back to his screen. He is frozen.
Oh man.
Oh.
Bad time of the week.
All right. Well, hopefully he comes back. And last but not least, the Monday night game is Browns at Broncos. So let's go Nick Chubb. Hey, he showed up last week for me.
He did.
So I'm hoping that they're really going to let him run the ball like he needs to, especially with Tillman down. Maybe that'll amount to them wanting to run the ball more, or Jerome Ford might be more involved. That being the case, and then they can start doing some dump off passes to Chubb for the short game.
Yeah, they haven't been giving him too much receiving work from what I've seen.
It's been fairly minimal. Yeah, we lost him completely. So maybe Dale will come back. But
True. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think he doesn't text the group or anything.
yeah, he's not coming back just yet. Dang. Hopefully
Right.
he does, because we can start our starter set segment until he comes back. But honestly,
Mine was going to be CMC or James Cook, because this week that is actually a question.
it is,
That is
because
like actually a legit wonder.
and even though they are going up against each other, which we tend to do with our starter sits,
I like saying games.
yeah, it's not required for our starter sets. But
Do
we have Dale back?
can you hear me?
Can hear you. Can't see you.
Yeah, no, I can't see anything.
All right. Well, we just closed off on the games. Dale left again. All right. We're gonna work on this. So I'm gonna go, because that is all right, Dale.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. So we just
started talking about the Chiefs and the refs. My internet cuts out.
yeah.
Cut it out.
Are they listening? Maybe.
I think they might be.
They threw an audible.
They did.
Hey, $17 billion industry, $1 billion a year industry.
Yeah. So we mentioned the Browns at the Broncos on Monday night, and then we moved on. We were just doing our starter sit. Scott threw one out there, CMC or James Cook. It's the same game one. But it's a legit starter sit question.
Mm-hmm.
James Cook.
Going James Cook.
I love CMC. But our defense is playing like garbage, and I don't know if I feel comfortable starting CMC with Allen at quarterback and maybe not having Trent Williams again. I don't know what his outlook is right now for the game, but obviously this last week with him not there, 11 carries for 31 yards. That's not good.
I think you meant Brock Purdy and not Josh Allen, but I understand what you're saying. So I'm also going to say James Cook for that reason, and the fact that even though Allen's going to spread the ball around for the Bills, he can rely on James Cook, and he may poach some rushing touchdowns or yards, but James Cook's going to get it done on the ground. There's, like you said, there's just too many holes in our defense, so that's the way I'm going with it. Love you, CP. Sorry.
No, you're good. I
gotta
meant
stick with
Brandon
CMC.
Allen.
Yeah, he was talking about Brandon
Josh
Allen.
Allen.
Oh,
Yeah,
We got two Allens in the game.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm like, I'm not talking about Josh. I love Josh, but no.
Yeah, no. I gotta stick with CMC, man. Hoping that Trent Williams comes back, but the Bills are still a run funnel defense, so they're gonna focus on shutting down the receivers. If we got Purdy back, mashing CMC, smash pick for CMC. But even if he doesn't, still gonna rock with my guy and hope for the best.
okay. I'm not mad at it at all. Dale, you got a starter set?
I do. It's also running backs. So my starter sit is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs at the Bears, or Jahmyr Gibbs versus the Bears, or Josh Jacobs versus the Dolphins.
Jacobs. Jacobs. He's a workhorse over there right now, man. The positive regression for the touchdowns is coming. That's why I had bust the move for Jacobs a few weeks ago. Because, man, schedule, the way the team's going, Jordan Love is still a good quarterback, but so many mouths to feed over there. And it just hasn't been too reliable with Jordan Love being injured. He's getting back healthy. He's trending back the right way, but Jacobs has been that reliable, consistent guy over there, man. Now, Gibbs is still nice, too, but he's got Montgomery, bro. Like, they're a good 1-2, but Jacobs is the guy over there. I got to go with Jacobs.
All right, both running backs are playing at home on Thanksgiving. 2 different games. I'm going to go Gibbs, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of that 1-2, you're going to have the Bears defense trying to figure that out. You're going to have them trying to figure out everything going on with the receivers and the run game. No, I think I'm just going to slightly favor Gibbs. I think it's going to be more of ground and pound than you think with them. I think the Packers may air the ball out a little bit more against the Dolphins defense. So we'll see. Especially with didn't Jacobs have a little bit of an injury scare this last week?
Just cramps.
Yeah, the cramping.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not too worried about cramps, but they may want to chill on him a little bit and maybe rely on the receiving game. And I think the Dolphins secondary will allow for them to do that a little bit. Maybe wrong on that, but slightly towards Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Scott. I'm gonna go Jacobs.
Fine. You two play with your ball. I'm going home.
You're already home.
Oh, okay.
He's just getting too much work in that offense.
Well, that's what I'm worried about too. He's getting too much work.
But
he's cramping up, and it's cold.
But he's used to getting that much work. I mean, he did the same thing in Vegas, even when they were in Oakland. He was that workhorse number 1 back that didn't really share the load.
No, I get it.
Good for longevity, but right now that he's completely healthy, yeah, cramps are one thing, but it's nothing like, an ankle sprain or, anything like that. Just cramps.
You're right.
He'll stretch, he'll hydrate, he'll be good. But, I mean, he just had 3 touchdowns against the Niners defense. That Niners defense, even without Bosa, you still have Fred Warner in there. You still have Leonard Floyd. I mean, you've got top defensive players. He just ran through everybody. Yeah, I can't ignore that. And what people also forget about Jacobs is he's a hell of a receiving back too.
Exactly.
They just haven't been had him. They haven't had him in the game plan to do much receiving because they haven't needed it because their wide receiver room is so deep. But he's a great receiving back out of that backfield. He's just getting so much work as a running back. They don't need him to do that.
Yeah, I think you nailed it earlier. It's too, you can't ignore it. But that was my problem this last week because I totally ignored it. I turned the game off and I just ignored it. So I think maybe I'm just self-preservation mode. I'm not thinking about the Packers right now. But
Man,
either way, I think both are solid choices. I'm just slightly favoring Gibbs. If you want, next week we can touch base on it and see who got more points, and you guys can enjoy your win. Whatever. So I'm not gonna lie. I kind of don't have a starter set, but I'm getting one up on the fly. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do that. So Turpin for Dallas, return yards included, obviously, or Keenan Allen.
Turpin.
I go Turpin.
You see that game Keenan Allen had? 27 points. No?
Yeah.
You on Turpin?
I don't see that happening again.
Okay.
You got to go. Turpin's just be consistent. They're playing what the Bears are playing the Lions. I'm not taking Keenan.
No.
Okay.
Turpin against the Giants.
Giants secondary is no joke. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about him on the returns.
True.
Give me Turpin, man.
Yeah, I'm going Turpin all the way on this one. Allen he's just not been it this year, and good job. He had one good game, but Turpin's been consistent, and he gives you that extra boost in the return yards.
Yeah,
like he can play that third option wide receiver, but he's going to make up for it in the return yards.
All right.
Well, so even last week though, Turpin, it wasn't a return yard. He caught that slant pass from Rush and ran it like 56 yards in for a touchdown. Like he has that big play opportunity as well. So, definitely Turpin.
I may be eating crow next week on 2 starter sits because one for Gibbs, one for Keenan Allen. But the good thing is it's the same game. So
so he comes from what?
So a possible fail on both sides?
More than likely fail on both sides, but at least I don't have to keep up with one game. So
right.
Yeah. So I'm going Keenan Allen and Jahmyr Gibbs this week. I can't wait to congratulate you both next week. All right. So last week we touched on us having a segment where it was actually kind of a refresh on getting to know us. We did it at the beginning of the year, kind of introduced ourselves and kind of like just kept it light and started the podcast. Well, since then, we've got a handful of followers, and that's been really cool. We really appreciate you all. We're trying to grow that. So hopefully you see a little bit more of a human side to us. We're pretty human-like anyway, but at least you can get to know us a little bit better. And so we're just going to kind of run through a few things just to let you guys know who we are. But also, this be a great time for you guys to drop comments, reach out, and if there's anything you want to know about us, let us know. We'll go from there. So, all right, I'll start. My name's John. I am married. Together with my wife, we have 6 kids, 3 each from previous relationships. So we have 3 boys, 3 girls. Anyway, we are big on family. We love our family, even though half of our family is across the country in Georgia, and we're here in California. So we have a dog, Blue. He is spoiled rotten. He is a lab mix. I feel like I'm reading a script, but I swear I'm not even looking at anything. But yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of the family life. We both work full time. We try to support our kids in their dreams and aspirations. and all that stuff. So other than that, that's kind of it. Just living life, trying to do the thing, be successful at all of it. So I started liking sports at a pretty young age. I didn't really watch a lot of it other than baseball with my grandma. She was a big Atlanta Braves fan. So I grew up as a Braves fan via her. I started playing sports, like every sport in school, and to the point where I ran track, played flag football, played baseball, which also then turned into softball, which turned into real football. That turned into about a half a week of trying to make the team for basketball because I wanted something to do in the winter. Anyway, I'm short, and I'm white, and I'm not good. So I could not play basketball. Moving around with the ball and doing that, I just wasn't good. So hats off to everybody who can play basketball. I got you in a game of horse, though. But in high school, played football. Pretty much that was my jam. I played baseball, but I kind of just slowly went over to football, and then I didn't anymore. Ended up having kids pretty young and working a lot. So I came from a pretty middle class to lower class family as far as the pay scales go. So I know how to appreciate things in life and whatnot, and not take them for granted. So the hustle is real with me. So I always hustle. Gotta get it going. Hard work, not afraid of it. But anyway, other than that, I watched sports as I started getting into them as I was growing up. And then I kind of lost sight of keeping track with anything until after high school and after having a couple of kids. And then started watching football again. And that was pretty much the only thing I wanted to keep up with. So I love football, love my Niners. From California, didn't really have a team growing up. Kind of just got back into it as an adult. And, Dad liked Niners. I like Niners, So it's just kind of how that went down. It usually is for most of us. Yeah. So other than that, just want to be successful. Want to have fun with my friends doing a podcast when we're not just hanging out and doing things. Want to do a lot of things like buy a house with my wife. Us have a nice, comfortable life. Hopefully that'll pan out at some point. Other than working full time, I've got a business that I'm trying to get going. So hopefully that'll take off and I'll be able to afford those things that we deserve and want. So those are some goals, little dreams, nothing crazy. I want a McLaren. That'd be cool.
A little 720,
I want to be modest, and except when I'm not. Yeah, let's have fun. But love music, movies, all that stuff. Like anything with eyeballs freaks me out. There you go. I think that's it. That's pretty open book right there. You guys have the same list. Scott, you want to go next?
Yeah, man. My name is Scott, Papa Fox, married, father of two. My son, he's almost a year and a half. It's a year and a couple months. He just turned a year. My daughter's 6, first grade. Honestly, man, much of the same. Just want to be successful. We're all working towards the same goal. I think everybody kind of wants the same things, right? Consistency, progression, success, right? I started so I was a big sport player. I didn't watch sports when I was younger, though. I wanted to be outside playing, right? As I got older, I'm from Oakland, so naturally I was a Raiders fan, but I didn't understand being a Raiders fan. Once I actually started watching football, because I was a big NBA guy. I touched on this before. I was all basketball, probably like junior, senior year. That's when I really started locking in and really watching the games. But once I turned to the NFL a couple years ago, actually rooting for the Raiders and consistently getting disappointed. And my boys right here, they brought me over to the good side. So now we root for the Niners. We are a Niners gang out here. That's when I started like really watching and really getting into like watching sports. Honestly, man, not too much about it. Simple guy. I go to work. I go home with my family. You know, like to spend time with my wife, my kids. Definitely a car guy. That's what I will say. If anybody that knows me, they knows I'm a car guy. That's like my other love. If I had it my way, I'd probably own a car dealership. It probably fit right in with my skills. I'd take that. But yeah, man, just want to be successful. Just want to keep growing. Football, family, work. That's what it's about, bro.
All right. Appreciate you, Scotty. All right, Dale. Floor is yours, sir.
Scotty, I feel like you've owned more cars than I've been in relationships. That's just how many cars you've had since I've known you, and that's man. so many.
Put it like this, for the audience. I have probably driven. I want to say realistically, I've probably driven over 100 cars, at least 100 cars.
Scott has had more cars in the time that I've known him than shoes that I've owned.
That's also a very good point.
I'm not talking pairs. I'm talking shoes. Individuals.
Yeah, man. So that's me.
Yeah, so if we're going to get to me, name's Dale. I'm married. I've been married 5 years. Shout out to Cass. Love you. I got 2 kids. One that's my daughter. She's about to be 2 years old already on Christmas Eve. And then I got my son who just turned 7 months last week. So 202, definitely no sleep gang over here. But that's part of the job description of being a father, and work full time, go to work early in the morning, come home, take care of the kids rest of the night. Wife works full time, goes to school, and does her motherly duties. So she definitely gets a lot of respect from me. She has a lot on her plate, and appreciate all of it, because I can only imagine. I have a full plate as it is, but she's always go. So I appreciate everything she does for me and the family. As for me with sports, I grew up loving sports. I grew up playing sports. Niners household, Warriors, San Francisco Giants. So been lucky, a couple of my teams win multiple championships. Unfortunately, not the Niners, but hopefully we'll get there one day. As far as playing sports, I was put in martial arts at a very young age, 3, and ended up staying in that for about 23 years. That was my biggest sport. Won a few world championships as a junior martial artist, couple nationals and state championships back in my prime when I was a child. So that's definitely something cool that I can always look back on. Got into high school, played, I think, 5 sports: track, cross country. I wrestled, basketball, and baseball. So definitely a busy high school career with sports. I've always been a sports guy. I always loved it, whether it's watching it or participating. So it's always been a huge part of my life. My grandpa was a collegiate basketball player, so get a lot of my athletic side from him for sure. And outside of that, man, I'm a big outdoors guy. Love the outdoors. Big into animals. I grew up on a ranch, so anything out in the country, that's where you'll find me. Currently own 2 dogs, Saxon and Bear. They're both very spoiled. German Shepherd Husky and a pit mix. So very, very high strung, but love them to death. Other than that, fishing, shooting guns, camping, like I said, outdoor stuff, that's me. I'm your guy. Other than that, man, when I'm not working, I like to just relax at home, chill with the family, get with the guys, and do this podcast recently. So outside of that, man, at least my dreams and aspirations are just to be able to, provide my family, my kids, a comfortable, life, and make something of myself, and something that my kids can eventually be proud of. And I didn't, at least me, I didn't grow up with a father figure, so I want to be that father figure that I never had for my kids. That's always been something for me that I always said that I'd always be there for my kids. And that's my dream. Always be there for them, support them no matter what, and give them the best life that I can. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Also, movie guy, love Marvel comic movies. Something me and John really bonded over was the Marvel side.
Yeah, big time.
Yep. And then
Scott's getting into it too.
Yeah, slowly but surely, Scotty is getting into it.
It's taking me a minute, man. I'm step by step.
It's okay. It's a long, but
it's a long road.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much everything about me. Laid back, chill, just go with the flow. But recently, it's been really been loving doing this podcast with you guys. It's a nice outlet, that we get to do outside of the monotony of everyday life, work, chores, stress, all that. So I appreciate you guys, and appreciate the listeners, giving us the time to be able to do this. And hopefully we just keep going up from here.
Keep going up, baby.
Amen, brother. All right. Well, appreciate you guys sharing. Hopefully you guys listening kind of get a little bit more of a sense of who we are. And again, if you have questions or anything like that, let us know. But yeah, we're pretty open book. We all come from a little different backgrounds, but nonetheless, we are pretty similar to be here in front of you all right now. So I value these guys' friendship more than I think they'll ever know, and I appreciate them very much. So that being said, Dale, 3-year-old you could probably kick my ass. I've never been in a fight in my life. Ever. So you said that, I'm like, damn.
So. Yeah. I still have, I think I still have all the plaques and everything from all the, I couldn't tell you how many I have, actually, probably 20 plus from, that's just the worlds. That's not the nationals, not the states. Like I used to have in my house that I grew up in a pretty big home. We had a foyer in our house. You'd walk in and it'd just be this big open area. And I had a complete wall that was probably a good 12 feet long and about 15 feet high, full of trophies, medals, plaques. And that's definitely been the highlight of my, at least sports, career was martial arts, and met a lot of really cool, a lot of interesting people along the way. And I wouldn't trade that time for anything. That's one of the best times that I ever had in my life was competing all over the place. So if you got kids, definitely consider putting them in something like that because it's life changing to say the least.
Super cool.
Hell yeah.
That's essentially the equivalent of having an ADT sign in your front yard or a beware a dog sign on your door.
Hey, let them know.
Yeah. If I had the equivalent of that in a sign, it would be come in. The good stuff's on the left. You guys want to do game of the week and then get out of here?
Yeah, that's it.
Baltimore, man.
All right. Which one do you want to go first?
Got to be Philly, Baltimore, man.
Yeah.
Low hanging
fruit.
Hey, man. Hey, every contending team that has played Baltimore has been a good game. Yeah, maybe. Are the Steelers really contending those? I was gonna say maybe not the Steelers, Ravens, but every high profile team has been.
They still showed up, and they handed them an L.
Yeah, so every contending team that faces Baltimore, it's a goddamn movie. So Philly, Baltimore, definitely excited for that one.
Yeah, I got to stick with the same thing. And if I'm going to pick a team to win it, I'm going to go with Philly.
I think Philly.
And if we really want to think long term, this could be a potential Super Bowl matchup. If things swing one way or the other, NFC AFC matchup here definitely could be a Super Bowl matchup later down the road. So definitely going to be. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, I think the refs heard you say that. Now they're gonna make sure that Mahomes gets there.
You know what? I have no fuck the refs. Anyway,
good answer.
Yeah. I got Philly in this one. I don't know how you can really pick against them. Yeah. Baltimore just won tonight. They looked decent, not great. But Saquon is playing at a whole nother level. AJ Brown is back and healthy. Jalen Hurts is on a tear. They'll have Devonta Smith back. So it's going to be a good game for sure.
Definitely agree. Just for the sake of having a different game than you guys, and for comedic effect, but I'm really going to enjoy watching this game. I want to pick the Giants at Cowboys because I think that's going to be a mess. I want to see Mike McCarthy and Brian Dable fuck shit up, and not in a good way. I'm just talking like, let's see how dysfunctional these two teams really are. You're going to see some great, crazy plays here and there, maybe. But more often than not, I think we're going to see more of a shit show on both sides of the ball and on the sidelines. I really hope they don't cut away from some of the sideline stuff.
Well, question, because now you got me thinking. A negative plus a negative makes a what?
A positive!
This might actually be a freaking good game. Not by, elite standards, but this may be the game where both teams kind of figure their shit out for the rest of the season because they're just both that fucking bad. And they just make each other positive. So we'll see, actually. Dumpster fire, maybe. Might have some positive results.
But what a fun dumpster fire, right?
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I just want to avoid it altogether. I want nothing to do with this.
Well, unfortunately, I'm riding on Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb, so I'm going to be very invested in this game.
I'll be invested from a distance.
Oh, what's this? Breaking news. Dallas High School to contribute players to this game for the Cowboys. That's crazy. Wow. Breaking news. You heard it here, folks.
Oh, shit.
No, I think it's going to be wild. I mean, either way, I'm going to be happy with this game for the fact that it's going to be a complete dumpster fire where nobody scores any points and we're forced to go into triple overtime with no score on the board, or we can get a shootout with just big plays and big misses. And I don't know. I just think it's going to be fun. It's going to be the equivalent of two like junior high schools playing football. But there's high stakes, right? I mean, McCarthy and Dable could potentially like lose their jobs next week because of this game. Probably not, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm just saying. I think it'll be it's going to be wild one way or another.
I think it might be. The more I'm thinking about it, I think it could really be decent. Like, take last week for example. The Cowboys beat Washington. They beat the Commanders. The Commanders didn't look like trash. Like, they didn't look great like they have been, but it wasn't like a trash game, right? The Cowboys were actually able to get their offense going a little bit. So I'm thinking that it might end up being not a complete shootout, but I think the teams are going to put up some points.
Yeah.
It'll be entertaining enough.
That's what I'm saying. And if anything, it's the middle game, okay? Go take a nap. You're fine. It'll be fine.
That's actually right around my kids' nap time, so that'll be perfect, actually.
Yeah. So everybody
I'll just take a nap with them. I'll wake up, the game will be over, and I will have missed nothing.
Yeah. For you. Man, you're gonna regret not watching this game though.
I'm not.
It's gonna be so good.
Oh,
I don't I don't want to start drinking that early on Thanksgiving, because if I do and I drink my way through this game because it's going to be a shit show, I won't make it to dinner. And I want to make it to dinner.
It's after it'll be fine.
I just need 20 apiece from CD and neighbors, man.
And you have every bit of a chance to get that or nothing at all.
Hey, the consistency that CD is showing, I told you guys, CD's going to be fine. With Cooper Rush, he hasn't scored less than 18 points in full PPR. That's perfectly fine.
No, I get it.
I think, you know what's so funny? Actually, CD was a top 10 receiver last week in fantasy. Were there any major? No, there were no major receiving games this week, right? Or tonight, right? I think Lad McConkey probably had the most receiving yards out of all receivers, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so CD, safe to assume he's still top 10 this week in fantasy. So,
well, rooting for you on that one, Scotty. As long as I'm not playing you in those leagues.
No, you're playing me this week.
What?
You're playing me this week.
Oh my God! Can I just get a break? I'm tired of it.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Well, I think we should probably put a bow on this. We ran it a little long. Definitely no regrets. I enjoyed the part where we talked about ourselves a little bit. Is that narcissistic? Maybe a little bit, but I enjoyed it.
No regrets.
We can do it again. I'll come up with some other shit. But anyway, you guys have anything else before we roll out?
Another good week, man. Week 13, I think we have 2 weeks until playoffs start. So everybody's trying to make those playoffs, final push. Just make sure your lineups are right and just keep the good football coming, man.
Yes, sir. John, I'm sorry. I have to try and bounce you this week. I have to win. I have to win out, and you're in my way. I love you, but you got to go.
It shouldn't be hard. You'll be fine.
Well, I hope so. I hope the fantasy gods are in my favor. I am so sorry ahead of time.
No. They're taking a nap too. It's just you're good. You got this. Shit, I'm rooting for you. Go for it.
Perfect. So you're gonna sit all your players. Love that.
Nope. You got to win it legit.
So you got to earn it.
Well, I will do what I must.
Yep. Do what you must. I'll still start my starters, but congratulations. Good game. This is me just accepting defeat.
Hey.
Anything other than that is a bonus.
Hey, that was Grant last night. He hit me after Saquon's game. He's like, hey, man,
Lamar might give me 110 points. He said, or I'm probably going to take the loss. He's like, hey, I'll see you in the playoffs.
At least you got a for sure spot. I am hanging on by a thread.
You just got to win out, baby.
I'm just selling T-shirts outside.
I said I'm just tailgating now.
All right, Dale, you got anything?
Yeah, I just want to, thank, the viewers that we're getting and subscribers. So please keep liking videos, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Say it every week. We need involvement, and we need to do it with you guys. And we just need you guys to get involved and share it everywhere. Please, comment on the videos. Doesn't matter what you comment, just get involved with us. No question is a stupid question. And, we want to be here to try and help you guys and provide that content that you're looking for, but we can't do it without you. So like, comment, subscribe, share. And since we won't see you until next Monday, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy your holidays. If you're traveling, be safe, and we will see you after the holiday.
All right. I think you guys said it perfect. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all. Be safe, and we will see you next week.